Well, we've done daylight savings times. I had my birthday, and we're going to talk whether or not you're ready for golf this season, amongst some other stuff. I got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about. Next. Welcome back to the Golf Shop, and Jim here, and this is What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I am no different. It's about what's in my shop, in the drawers in my shop, and what we talk about is golf club repairs, fittings, and reviews. All shoe scores can go low. All right, if you would, I'm remembering it this time. See this thing right here? It goes, like, subscribe, smash the notification bell for new videos. Let's get the word out about the channel even further so all this information gets to the YouTube universe. Lastly, but not least, also, if you like, I have another channel called Pars and Pours, a golf-centric whiskey channel. Join me over there if you would. Okay, so let's get started. Number one, thank you for the birthday wishes. It was very cool. And to show you one of the neat gifts I was given is a U.S. Navy, there we go, veteran. And it says, Forged by the Sea, U.S. Navy and veteran. And of course, I am christening it with an old-fashioned. We're going old school, boys and girls, just like we did when we first started. Okay. Second is we sprung forward. I didn't think it would be so bad, but man, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know why. I'm over it now, but maybe just getting old from the birthday. All righty, so a couple things. Made smash burgers on the grill from my sister and brother-in-law's. They had a cow processed, or at least half a cow, and we tried the hamburger, and it was delicious. Had Bob and Penny over. They ate it. They really liked it as well. So they told me. And so we had a little salad, a little hamburger, and a little pie, and we were done. Nicely done. One of my other dinners, a little barbecue chicken with all different kinds of salad to go with it. Pardon me. And last but not least, I did a brisket, but I did not take a picture of it, and it turned out pretty damn good. So I guess you just have to think about it. Let's see. Update on the man room or fitting room or both rooms. So it's taking shape. Looks a lot like that. That's from the doorway looking in. And to date, all the brown you see is now covered by drywall. And there's another side. There's another picture from the other direction. So it's coming along nicely. We were supposed to take delivery of a mini split today, and the guy called and said, hey, can the semi get down there? I said, well, sure. And he says, okay, you got a forklift? No, why would I have a forklift? I said, well, my tailgate blew out and I can't lift anything down. Well, I don't know what to tell you. He says, well, can I deliver it tomorrow? Well, sure, as long as you bring it in the morning, since you were my last stop. Well, okay, make me be the first stop. That's pretty easy. Load me last. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, whether that shows up or not. All right, so there's me bitching. Dang it. Okay, so fitting stuff. Let's go back. Hopefully you saw the video that I put out. I put it out yesterday. It was on fixing the PXGs. These guys. Those turned out pretty good. I'm real happy with them. Very well done, if I do say so myself. And you'll notice that the logos are in different areas because he wanted me to flow them, and that's the way they turned out. And he used the Win mid-size low taper, and just the colors and everything just came together, did very, very well. And if you watch the dang it, if you watch the video, he was looking for a particular swing weight, and we actually hit it without having to do anything. I think he calculated it out himself. So that was pretty cool. Okay. We also been a set of wedges, or a wedge. No, a putter. Been a putter for a golfer in Nebraska, and then bent a set of wedges. And we also fixed a fairway wood. It was an old R11. I think it was an R11. Put a new shaft in that, and we built 2 new drivers from Wilson. So we're just rolling. Dang. So anyway, this week we did a lot of fittings, and as it turns out, the winner of the contest, and I did a lot of iron fittings, and it's not like I'm trying to put it in there, but the Callaway Quantum was killing it. Okay, absolutely killing it. So here it is, Callaway Quantum Max. All right, and that thing, like I said, it looks like Big Bertha and Steelhead had a baby. Okay, there it is. This one being more steelheadish or old X's, right? And then the shape is kind of the other side of it. It's got a tri-sole. Let me put this up here for you. So here in the blue, it's got what they call a tri-sole design, meaning that the bounce is a little bit higher. The back end engages when you decide to get a little deep. And if you need the back portion, we got to talk. Then you get to see in the middle here, the AI, and it's doing what it needs to do for giving you ball speed and forgiveness. And if you look, it is not symmetrical as far as ovalish. It looks like it takes more on the shape of the actual club head itself than anything else. And then finally, the little red stuff, that's urethane microspheres, and that's to give it a little bit better sound, a little bit better feel. So if we wanted to look at it, this is kind of what it looks like. You get the 360 cup face where the red circle is at. Then you get the red gel that's underneath of it, which is the urethane microspheres. And then you get all of that, and all that is weight, right? All that is weight, and then a nice cool badge to kind of probably support it. Now, why all that weight in the bottom? Because the lofts are so strong that you have to get a lot of weight under the golf ball, under the equator of the golf ball, so it will fly up in the air. Because, I mean, let's face it, these guys are strong, okay? In order for them to make the ball fly like a 7-iron, you have to get a lot of this underneath that, okay? And they're doing a good job of it. A lot of companies are, but these guys are doing a good job of it. So what did I go through? Well, as it turns out, the KBS Max 90 in the R was just absolutely winning the day. And I gave it to different people with different types of swings, and it was still coming out very, very well. To the point, I want to show you this. This is a fitting picture that I took of one of my golfers, and he hit the highest smash factor I've literally seen in forever with an iron. Okay. Now, if you go, you see you speed across the top, spin, and then smash. Now, the first 1, 2, 3 are my testing irons. And this is pretty good. This is really good. And then all of a sudden I give them a quantum. And it jumps up. This is what most guys are hitting drivers like this. Just absolutely 100% finding the middle of the club. So then I give him his, and he hits it. He hits it good, just not that kind of good. And because of this, if you look, he was actually swinging his club literally 3 to 3.5 mile an hour faster, and still was seven, almost a full club behind, all because of smash factor. Okay, all because of smash factor. Now I turned around, I gave him an Apex, I let him hit the sand wedge, and then I gave him the Quantum hybrid, and it was literally I literally gave him the same weight shaft. All right, same weight shaft, and he found the exact middle. So he was very much weight oriented with this. In fact, I gave him that very light shaft. He was doing very good with it, and I let it go through there. So in this particular instance, it was a deal. I put my buddy Bob on this, and I started him off with I started him off with the 90. Again, hit it good, but I put the Denali 60 in it, and a different animal altogether. He gained about 4 mile an hour swing speed, and he also found more of the middle of the golf club, and hence he gained yet another club in distance. And I started going lower, and I thought, well, let's just try it out. So I went lighter still. I went to about a 50-gram shaft and a very flexible 50-gram shaft and an A flex. And so it was lightweight. It was 50 grams. It was very flexible, and it was amazing. He was hitting behind the ball so bad. We were trying to look at each other, and I said, "It's toe droop." So what he was doing is the club was coming around, instead of going just like this, it was coming down and going like this as well as swinging around. So what I did was I went and I got another A flex, but it was the MMT. Now this is something to pay attention about, because I went from a Denali 60 to an R flex to an MMT. Okay. MMT, I believe it was a 60, but it was in an A flex. And when I gave him this same weight but more flexibility, he absolutely destroyed it. Hit the crap out of it. However, we had no idea where it was going. It was open, closed. Now, again, he had hidden swung a club for a while, but this was not him. So we went back after he kind of found his swing a little bit, and I took out the older swings from the Denali, and I said, okay, I handed it back to him, and he hit it, and he was like 1 yard, 1.5 yards behind the MMT, but his pattern was like that versus like that. So for 1 yard, yeah, and he was in the middle versus all over the map. So that was helping. And they sounded good coming off the club. I couldn't make them go. I couldn't. For me, they're I don't know. There's something about the sole. Maybe it's because I'm flicking. I don't know, but I hit them fine. I just don't hit them like I hit the apexes, and I think everything has to do with the sole. I make good contact, but just the sole getting into the ground slows me down a little bit. All righty. So, and I showed you. I go back here, and at 145, and then I hit him back. Yeah, I showed you that one. Okay. So just to show you, weight matters, flex matters, length, and I made him a little upright. All that mattered, and these guys are walking away with golf clubs that they like, and they all ended up in the quantum, and I did about 4 or 5, and and they just did very, very well. I was surprised, but they hit the crud out of it. So I'm not gonna, numbers don't lie, hitting it straight doesn't lie. I mean, it was very, very well done. All right. So now that we're done with that, the question is, are you ready for the golf season? Are you ready for the golf season? What do I mean by that? Do I mean you've been practicing? Do you mean that? No, I don't mean that, because I'd love to say I have been, but I'd be lying to you. But what I mean is your equipment ready for the golf season? So I normally do a video on this, and I probably will. You need to go to your golf bag. If you haven't been golfing all year long, like Kent probably does in his shorts, you probably want to look at your golf bag. And the first thing I would do at the golf bag is I would dump the whole thing out. Golf clubs, tees, balls, gloves, anything else that you've got in there. All right, I just dump it clean out. And then I would shake it out. Okay? Because 99 times out of 100, if you've not done this, you've acquired some dirt in there. Whether you use a crevice tool and you suck it all out, from putting dirty tees back in the bag, putting dirty golf balls back in the bag, putting dirty gloves back in the bag, putting dirty clubs back in the bag, all that stuff. Just dump it all out. Why? Because dirt acts like a saw blade on a bag. All right. You're just asking to make a hole. So if you're looking to have your golf bag last a little bit longer, clean it out. All right. That's all you got to do is clean it out. Now, if you have stains or whatever, I wouldn't go into massive stain removing mode, because sometimes the bags don't take kindly to detergents, but maybe wipe it down and get all the excess off of it. That's that. Secondly is look at your golf glove, right? If your golf glove is all mangled, like somebody's got like the 9th stage of arthritis and it pulls out like this and you've got to crack it to open it up, toss it, get you another one. You can thank me later. Because normally what that means is you've sweat in it and it's gross and it's got it's got the dirt on it in the beginning. And what happens here is, and I don't think so, mister. That's better. And you probably aren't going to get any grip, right? And we all forget about it. We're all guilty. I've done it several times. You go, oh, crud, I forgot a golf glove. And you just make do, right? You go, oh, this isn't so bad after about 5 holes of fighting the fungus that you've got in there. And so if you get a new one, it's more comfortable. You get a better grip on the club. It's all good. Okay. So, and for the 12 or 9 to $20 for a glove, not a problem. All right. So the next thing is your accessories. Okay. I find this one a lot when I'm doing it. Tees, balls, ball markers, and divot tools. Now, golf balls, I'm not going to get into which one you need, but if you got one that looks like it's been bounced around in the trees like a pachinko machine, chances are it probably needs to go because it's not going to grab the air like it's supposed to and give you that spin. In some cases, it could be better, but in most cases, it's not. All right. And if it's been sitting in your bag like that and you've been leaving it in the garage, chances are it's probably not liking that very much either. Now, am I saying rushing out and go get a whole bunch of brand new golf balls? No, but I'm just saying look at the ones that look pretty beat up and remove those. And then if you've got some or you've gone to the AAA, very good quality used golf ball, then put those in the bag. Again, I'm just trying to remove some dirt and put a ball that should react better in your bag. Last 2 things are tees. Tees and the way to mark and repair your divots. So tees are a personal thing as well. If you like a really tall tee, if you like a really short tee, or if you like both, right, or the type of tee, just take stock and make sure you got enough, right? I particularly like the 0 frictions, and I just like one, and because they got the lines on them, you can go from there. But it's got the little tripod that it sits on, and that lets a little bit of air underneath of it. Somehow it's in my head that I think it works good. Does a traditional tee work? Yes, but this one in my head works a little bit better. Last but not least is the divot tool or divot marker. All right, and the divot tool. Now I use the switchblade variety where you click it, boom, and it comes back out so it doesn't poke. The real problem with those in some cases is that they get dirt in them because that's what it does, right? It gets into the dirt and it pops, to bring up your turf, to repair the turf. So other golfers, will enjoy the game right after you. Sometimes what happens is it gets in there and it gets crunchy and it doesn't want to come open. It sounds like gears are grinding, that kind of thing. You can blow air through it sometimes. Sometimes maybe some water. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Sometimes WD-40, and you can work it back and forth until the dirt comes out and then wipe it down and let it drain, and then you got yourself your tool back. All right, on to the important stuff, the golf club. Now, the only thing I would say on that one is if you got your golf club and that doesn't look a little bit like that, meaning clean, and meaning clean, clean it. Right? Get your scrubby brush out, whatever it takes, dump it in a bucket of water, sit out front, enjoy the weather, play some music, right? Get a beverage of your choice and enjoy the outside while you're cleaning that thing off. When you start off with thing, you don't have to worry about miss hits, at least from junk. You grab the ball, those new balls that you just put in there, and you'll be fine. The other part is look at the golf shaft. In steel, after a while, just like an old car bumper back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, after a while, the the condensation inside the shaft will try and make its way out and get through the nickel plating that's on the steel shaft. And you see little bumps and markers like that. Does it mean it's right there? It's going to fail when you see little bumps? No. But it is a sign that it's coming. You know, you might get a few more years out of it. So you consider that. So, what's one way to help prevent that? You clean it off before you put it in a bag at the end of the year and put a little bit of car wax on it and just let it set. So if you've done that, you just come in, you wipe off the car wax. Now you got a nice shiny club. Boom, you're done. Then to the final part, the grip. Now, if you've been playing 27 rounds a month and you've been playing for 2 years on a set of rubber grips and you got a grip like a gorilla, I'm probably guessing that it's time for some new grips. Golf Pride, all these golf grip companies have done studies. If you can improve your grip on your golf club, you can improve your game. It actually show it going down a stroke or two. So look and just take stock in whether or not you need to change your grip, right? It's an easy enough task that you can do it and save a little money, or you send it to guys like me and we do it for you a little quicker and you come back the next day and it's all done. Or Mrs. McGolf, she's a pro at it herself. So you can go with that. If not, clean the grips. And I know I've talked about this one before. If you get a very aggressive microfiber towel and get hot water under as much as you can, and you just kind of go like this with it, you'll hear the grip start to squeak. You know you've cleaned it at that point. By the time you get done at the end, the first one will be dry and you can just start putting it back in the bag and you're good to go. And the grip will be actually probably a little more tacky than it was before. All right. And that's just setting you off. Now you got no excuses. Now, the last bit, and it just hit me, was your golf shoes. You know, clean them up, right? And make sure you got all the, there's been several times, even on my squares, that one of the cleats have come out and I don't notice it until I'm putting them on that round. I'm like, and I don't carry any spares. That's probably something that ought to go into a bag. And so now I've got to travel around and go find just one cleat or a box of cleats in order to put them in there, because being left-handed and I turn on one, it unscrews the cleat if I get into it just right. So check the cleats and make sure, if you guys wear inserts, make sure your insert's good. We don't want it to rot out halfway and then you can't walk after a round, and do something like that. If you want to keep going, you can do hats and umbrellas and that kind of thing, but we're talking about the other gear. All right, so what does all this do, right? What does all this do? Well, it removes distractions. All right, it removes distractions from, oh man, I wish I would have got a grip. Oh man, I wish I would have got a glove. Oh, I should have put more balls in the bag, that kind of stuff. You're ready to rock and roll, so what are you doing now? You are concentrating on playing the game and enjoying your round versus trying to work around the things that you didn't do before. That's all. It's not rocket science, it's just being prepared. And that's what we like about it. So, cheers. Thank you, Bob and Penny. And hopefully everybody can get ready for this season. Okay. Let's get to the questions. There you go. Mr. Gordon, what do you say, buddy? He's ready. Course open Friday, and now my wedges have the lie adjusted. Looking forward to it. That's because we adjusted it. So not bad. Glad you like them. Hopefully they're fit your eye. Charlie's on. He's chomping at the bit instead of champing. Snow needs to go. I agree, buddy. I hate to tell you, I feel like who's our buddy that's down in Texas? He's in. I'm sure he'll be in here and eventually. I feel like him. It was 76 on my 76 in my truck temperature. However, I will say that with a grain of salt because it's supposed to rain on Wednesday, and by Thursday or Friday it'll be back into the 40s. So Mother Nature is just not giving up on us here. There you go. Hello, Jim. Hello back, buddy. John Cherry, greetings all from a warm MB, and he was in a cold MB there for a while, and we saw that the national course, Myrtle Beach National, is now open. If you've never played and you're going to Myrtle Beach National is where you want to go. That is so picturesque, and the golf holes are so they're challenging, but they're not to the point where they scare you. Save maybe the gambler hole, but that's where you just have fun with it, unless you got money on the line. Okay. Steven was able to get out this weekend, shot an 82. Well, nice. That's a heck of a good start. So here we are again with Jim and Robin, who make every day a delight. Oh, Jesse, you are my hero, bud. Of course, Jesse's down there with weather that he can golf all year round, so that's pretty cool on his part. Matthew O'Malley, good Irish name. And happy birthday. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. DevDog12, I have a question about swing weights. Okay. What type of tip weight do you use for graphite? I'm new to the process, so I'd give me a brief explanation on matching swing weights to shaft weight profiles. So, they're literally about two. There's really available two kinds of swing weight tips. Okay. So a question about swing weighting. What type of tip weights do you use for graphite? Graphite 99 times out of 100 has a much smaller hole in the tip than a steel shaft. And basically you have one that looks like a lead shot that you would use while you're fishing, and the other one has a small tip with a stem on it, and the stem inserts into the tip of the shaft. Now, here's a pro tip. All right. So you're going to run into a couple of things. Number one, sometimes the opening is much bigger than the stem. All right. You don't want it to rattle. So you've got two things you can do, or both. Number one, you can glue the tip in. Now, that's a lot of glue. Okay. So what I would tend to recommend is taking a little bit of masking tape and wrap it around there so it fits in there snug. All right. Then a couple of dabs of glue and put it in there so it'll glue itself to the sides of the walls. Because if you do not, eventually that thing will rattle around and it'll work itself back and forth and it will snap. And then eventually you'll go to take a swing and you'll hear this thing go clickety, 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 click. And you'll swing down, it goes clickety, 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 click. And then you're like, now that's in your head and you're done for a round until you figure out why that is. How do you get it out? You got to take the grip off, take the tape off, and shake it out of the club, and you're good to go. Is it going to make too much difference in swing weight? Not really, because that's the lightest portion of it. It's literally a gram or less. Okay. Now the other one looks like the lead bobber or the lead weight. Those are made to fit in the end of a steel shaft. Sometimes they do not. Okay. 370s into 355s, obviously they don't fit. And what can you do? Well, this is one of my favorites. What I tend to do is cone the end of the weight, so you chamfer it, right? You chamfer it all the way around, and that gives you a starting point. And I use a no bounce hammer, or mine is called the Eagle something. It's got a yellow harder hammer head on one side and a rubber softer one on the other one. I use the yellow and I get it tamping in there, and then I just drive it in, and it basically strips the excess away. So now you've pressure fitted into the shaft. No glue required. And you're like, oh, I just trimmed off some weight. Yes, you did. But is it enough to be that big of a deal? The answer is absolutely not. All right, the trade is there. Okay, so there's those two types. Now, on the other end, the opening in the bottom of the shaft may be too small for it to fit. You've got two choices at this point. Well, maybe three, I guess, if you really wanted to go there. Number one, you could drill out the end of the shaft. Unless you've been doing this a long time, I do not recommend that. The other one is that you could sand down the stem to get it to fit in. Effectively, what you're doing is you're just saying, I don't need the stem anymore. So what you could do is just cut the stem off, shove what's remaining of the tip weight into the bottom of the hosel and putting it in there. Okay. You could do that if you're dying. Now, the last bit of it is if you don't like going through all that, just use lead tape. You'll hear people talk about running tungsten powder down a shaft and using a cork. All right. Does it work? Yeah, it works. And the cork is literally that big. All right. And then you need a rod to push it all the way down in order to get in there. That, in my opinion, that's far too much work to make it feel like one of those slinky sounding toys unless you get it all the way down to the bottom. I just don't see people I just don't see it working. All right. I've had the stuff and I have refuted back to tip weights every single time. Now in the day that was an option because they were talking about steel shafts. If you had steel shafts and you got it all the way down in there and you push it all the way down, yeah, success every time. However, in graphite, no. Matter of fact, I wouldn't recommend it because sometimes you can create a shear point. All right, so we got past that part. New to the process, brief explanation on matching swing weight to shaft profiles. There is no such animal. All right, the swing weights, swing weight is predicated on length and weight. All right, swing weight is based on how much length that you've got, and then based on, so for instance, everything's made to a 38-inch 5-iron. All right, if you have a 120-gram shaft, a 44-inch or a 44-gram grip, and a 256-gram head, you're about a D4. Okay. Now you start messing with that. That's your base. So if your head's lighter, now your swing weight's lighter, right? And now if you get to the Japanese companies, they run around 252. So that's 4 grams. So now you're about D2. D2 still pretty good. If I was to hand you clubs, chances are you probably wouldn't even notice it. All right. So now you're here like this. Okay. So now you go, man, I like a mid-sized grip. And you go, okay, so I go from 44 to 53. Well, that's 10 or 11 grams. So you need about 4 of that. And now it just got lighter still because now all this weight is in your hands. You go, oh my God, my swing weight is below D something or another. Big deal. All right. What it is, now you've just put a bunch of weight in your hand. Do you like it? Right? Do you like it? And if you like it, play it. And I will show you something here. Just give me a second. I have tested enough of these so I can tell you this beyond certainty that these guys right here, Jumbo Max Tour grips, are phenomenal. They fit a lot of people. You don't hold them in your fingers like this. You put them in your paws like that, and you hold on to them and you swing. You would be absolutely bamboozled by how good that works. This is 110 to 115 grams. That is double a jumbo grip. Okay, now what do? Oh my God, I need that all this weight. No, you don't. No, you don't. Why? Because it's all in your hands. You're still going to feel this total weight, and this total weight is where you're going to be. So trying to match perfectly swing weight is not something you really need to do. Can you get close? Sure. But what we're talking about is total weight. So if you get a 60, you take all that and you take that shaft out and you put a 60-gram shaft in, all of a sudden you're 60 grams, right? So that's about 6, 7 swing weight points. So if you're just dead set on getting back to D2, that means you're going to have to add 12 grams to inside here. If you add 12 grams inside here, this is going to move this way. Now you're starting to affect the playability. Get what I'm saying? The other part is as the shaft gets lower in weight, the head starts feeling heavier. It's just an effect. Should that mean, well, the swing weight goes up? No, it just feels that way. So swing weight is a thing of feel, okay? And different swings have different needs. So if you're very, very aggressive, right, back and forth, those grips I just showed you are a wonder because you just put all that weight in your hands and you're right here and you can track it. Now, if you're buttery smooth, now it's going to be a detriment because now you got all this extra weight holding you on. You would probably like something a little bit lighter. All right, so you got to keep all that in the mat. That's Jim's swing weight in a nutshell. I could go on for days about that stuff. Never to say, but that's it. Oh, and by the way, now that we've done this, I'm gonna bring a pars and pours moment in that I found one of the readers or one of the guys there sent me a note saying that there is a whiskey out there called the 19th Hole. It's a 4-grain that was made in Bardstown, and 4 guys in Overland, Kansas put it together. And Overland, Kansas, Overland Park is where the guy that invented Kenneth Smith invented the swing weight scale. See how I tied all that together? So now Robin can't say, "Oh, you just brought all that in." Nope, so there's my tie-in. Okay. Opinion. How would you describe the difference between an 8202 and a Napa style? I've heard the Napa style described as an 8202 with modern features. Others have said they are totally different animals. Napa style. I'm not even sure what you're referring to, but as we're talking, I will keep talking about this and we'll put in Napa style putter and see what we get. All I got was a Bettinardi. Okay. Napa style is a classic heel shafted blade designed for players with strong arc strokes and featuring a significant toe flow and different rounded ones. So, okay. I see what yep. So, to kind of give you an idea, this is the first picture I got. And yeah, so if you look at that, see the different one, there's all different kinds, right? All different styles and all different kinds between and maybe it's an 8202 or an 8802. So the 8802 had more muscle closer to the blade than those. I don't have one. I have one that's older. But in the 8802, in my opinion, it came down, had a little muscle on it, and then it came around, and it was still that, we'll call it the old school, where it was straight into the neck, right into the back of the putter, and out. Where the Napa style has a flare, right, or a fin, or something a little bit wider, as you might see, like right here is a good example of it. See that guy right there? See how that fin's bigger? See how these all got a little bit bigger fin. This guy, or even that guy back there, is probably about as close as you're going to get to an 8802 or an 8202. So I would say that there's a little bit more to look at on a Napa style putter than this traditional one. I don't know if you would get a sight line on an 8802 other than on the very top or the crown of it, versus the other one where you could put it on the fin or the flare. And there's Mrs. McGolf. We saw you going by. All right. Good. Robin saying, glad you got your wedges. Robin saying hi to Charlie and John. He's talking back. Mike Delvesco. All right. Does anyone have any suggestions for iron shafts for a 71-year-old man? Seem to lose plus 5 yards every year. So I do have a suggestion, and I don't know if Robin made fun of me yet on here or not. But I fit a doctor, and his name is Dr. Quinn. Okay, joke's over. And really, his name's Dr. Quinn, one of the nicest people on the planet. All right, and he was in his late 70s, early 80s, probably late 70s, and I fit him. He was still swinging really well, very thin, taller fella, probably 6'4", 6'6", in that area, and still was able to get the ball up in the air. And every other year he calls me going, okay, I lost a little distance. What can we do? And I keep tweaking the driver, and I've refused to give him the ultralight driver because I know how he swings. Well, now he's right. He's bucking 90, and now it's time. And what it is I lighten the load, I increase the loft, so now it's lighter. He can swing it faster. His swing speed's not so much up there, so he can get the ball up in the air. And now he's doing it. So he sent us a text.
I want to hear this.
He sent a text, and he said if I well, here, I got the text, so might as well just read it because she wants to make fun of me so bad I can't stand it. Said, left a message. If you were a girl, he would write a love letter because he got 10 to 13 more yards on his driver. Okay. Not bad for guessing it over the phone. So to answer your question, Mike, 71 years, depending on your swing speed, we have to go kind of opposite. What do I mean by opposite? Meaning that instead of maybe the Quantum Max, that is your traditional, it's the flagship club, maybe a high launch number, right? Like a Mizuno high launch. The Max OS or the Fast, something that's a little weaker. It goes against convention, and it took me a long time to believe it, but it works. Find the high launch models. Go just a hair lighter. All right. And so the idea here is with the lighter clubs with the higher launch capability, meaning weaker, you get the ball in the air, and it travels further than it ever did with the other one. Okay. And it takes a while, but there's a certain swing speed that works on, right? So if you're bucking on it with irons, if you're finding yourself swinging in the 70s somewhere, then probably worth investigating. Okay. Very much worth investigating. So that's what I would look at. So the higher launch irons, and maybe going a little bit lighter. I don't necessarily go if I go 40 grams or whatever, but go lighter than just what you're used to, not super light. So if you're used to a 90-gram shaft, maybe a 60-gram shaft. If you're a 60-gram shaft, then maybe a 40. Hello, Stephen, Jesse, Matthew. Hi to all. There's Phil K. That's the one I was looking for. I was looking for you earlier, Phil, about me being able to talk like it's too hot or something because it hit 76 here today. So I felt like I was a Texas guy for just a bit. Okay. I was talking to my granddaughter when you showed the glass. Show it again, please. Okay. Here you go. U.S. Navy, forged by the sea. There's our anchors, forged by the sea veteran. The cool part about it, Charlie, it's not only there, but it's also on the back. And all this is gold-like. I was wondering if they had one maybe in silver. But there you go. I'm not sure what the wings are on the anchor. I'm sure it has something to do with the pilots, but it's a cool glass. Very cool glass. Hello, Dev Dog. Thank you. Mike D. Okay. I think Pinion Golf is referring to 8802. You're correct. versus Napa. I'm not a fan of the Camerons. Can probably do as well with any 8802 style. Don't disagree, right? And basically what he's saying. So in all cases, 8802 styles, whether it be Napa or the original, they come in. It's like this, and I don't. My camera will catch me, but the shaft goes straight down into the very heel of the putter, and typically there's a very long hosel involved with it, particularly the older ones. That was the other part of it. In the older 8802s, they had a very big hosel, right? Very large. And that's where a lot of the weight set so that it wanted to, because the idea is that you were swinging it like a screen door. Now, and if we even go back, I don't know if I can, if I still have the picture up. There they are. If you look, the hosels on these guys are extraordinarily long. Okay, they're very, very long, and not only are they long, but they're not as wide. They're very, very thin. In the older era, they were very thick, and they're much heavier. They're probably easier to swing. All right. Dev Dog, you can call me Devin. Should have changed my username. Yeah, but Devin it is, bud. Oh, Paul's in here somewhere. Paul Van Fleet. It is. Charlie, it is. It is. I can't. I don't know what to tell you, brother. It is. It's big. It's very, very forgiving. And it's exactly what they designed it for. All right. They said the Elite, which I thought was a really good club, that the Elite was scaring the average golfer because it was too small. Okay. And that Callaway's marketplace for the longest time is that average to just below average to just above average under that bell curve. That's where they live. And that just looked more pleasant to them. Okay. Oh, here we go. I know you'd want to see this. Voila. Let's do a little test. So the club in front is the Wilson. You just see a little bit, don't you? It's not nearly as bad as you think. The 6 is the Wilson. So if I was to hold them, I guess straight up and down, there you go. Just a hair bigger. We're talking less than a quarter of an inch. So it's really all in how its presence, right? A little longer blade length, a little bit come down like that. But once you crunch it like that, I mean, that's a classic shape, man. That's just a really nice shape. I like this one. I have to test those. That's in the next. That's probably this week, so I can get my groove thing going. All righty. Hello, Devin. There we go. Can't wait to get out this year. Paramus Golf Course and Country Club in Jersey. Paramus. All right. Paramus. Oh my God. And once I saw New Jersey, I knew where you're at. Says ground's too soft from the snow to melt. Okay. Well, you guys are unfortunately having to live the problems that Charlie's got, and just got to wait for all that stuff to get there and do it. I mean, here even at 76 degrees, Albert, there's no way. We had 3 inches of rain in the last 3 days. There's just no way we could have gotten out. There's Bob, my buddy Bob. And he's the one that got me that, him and his wife. So there we go. Okay. She's saying hello and hello back. There's Bob and Gladys. Look at that. She's talking with that. We had a very good week. I say we had a really good weekend with Callaway. And our inside rep moved and got promoted to an outside rep in San Francisco. I'm not so certain if that is necessarily a promotion. But I guess it is in their hierarchy of things. So now we have a brand new guy, and Robin wore him out today with all the orders. So welcome to the jungle, our new guy. John Lamb, with all the problems trying to vacation in Florida this year, we are both like a cat scratching dropping on a marble floor waiting to get out. What are the problems getting to Florida? Are they full? What's going on? I know you're in Canada, but is there a problem getting out of Canada? I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant to the world what's going on around me. Hi, Jim Robin as well. The weather gods are being kind these days. They are. It's been very, very nice. It's helping out the guys to get our fitting room / man room in. So, hey, if anybody knows how to stretch internet out there, I'm all ears. I got to get it to where it leaves my house and gets over there so that they know, or so I know I can get there. Been ready. The weather is not cooperating. Well, at least you didn't have to dig any further, Charlie. That's a good thing. All right. Bob says thank you. We were looking. Is he getting the zero? Bob tried out the square to square jailbird model, and in typical Bob fashion was killing it. Everything from 10 foot out, and we know that's going to happen. It's not a surprise. I could give him a brick and a stick, and he would do the same thing. However, I said, okay, the test is in. I made him move up to the 3 foot danger zone range and started making him there. And he kind of turned around and looked at me. I said, hey, you're the one holding it, dude. And so now it looks like we're getting one of those. Robin. There you go. Clean them after every round. That's one way of getting it done, right? Drew Brown. Long time no see. Hopefully you're doing all right, brother. No see. R. Get it? Good one, man. Mr. Mooseman, the best 1x4 bell variable speed. No, you don't need variable speed. If you got 1x42, you don't need variable speed because it's going to be running around 1800 RPM. That is absolutely perfect. All right. It's not so fast that it's going to melt ferrules away, even if you lay into them a little bit, unlike a 1x36 that's running at 3600 RPM. Is that a bad belt sander? For a beginner, yeah, right? Because you have to have a very, very, very light touch in order to make that thing work. Where in a 1x42, you can lay into it and be ham-fisted. I know. I've got 3 of them. So, yeah, I would look at one. No variable speed required. 1x42, yes. The best one out there, my favorite would be from Kalamazoo. Let me think about that for now that I said it. The most reliable, most dependable would be from Kalamazoo. They do have them, okay? And they have a little yellow box on the top, so it makes it easy to switch out. Makes them easy to switch out the belts. Now, that said, best is like, it's like saying, what's the best car? And I say Mercedes. And you go, well, that's very expensive. And the Kalamazoo would be. Okay, so what would be next? I would look at Golf Works or Club Mechanic or Golf Mechanics. They're hand in hand in a lot of cases in this realm. And the reason why I say that is, did we lose some? Oh, here we go. The internet must have messed up a little bit. So Golf Mechanics, Golf Works. And the reason why I say that is a lot of cases you can make that 1x42 do dual work. It is absolutely critical to get the most use out of your footprint. And that's the reason why I have double arbor motors. So I have a 1x42 belt sander on one side, and I have a wheel on the other. One is an unstitched buffing wheel, one's a wavy wheel. They don't make them like that anymore. I have no idea why. I have searched high and low and asked Kalamazoo to make me one, and they will at a small, phenomenal fee. So what can you do? Golfworks makes one that has the shaft or the belt sander on one side and a shaft cutter on the other. If you got a little vacuum cleaner, you can hook it right on. Good to go. If you don't want it like that, they have another one where it has a little bit of a sanding wheel right on the other one. So you could do maybe put the sanding wheel or the flapper wheel and use it to do tip prep, and then put a felt belt on the other side, and that way you're doing both. You're doing tip preps, and then you're doing ferrule preps on the other side. But I would look at that. So again, my very first one would be Kalamazoo, only because they're massively reliable. You buy one, you're not going to buy another. If I was doing that, I would ask for a double arbor. If you're not going that deep into it, then Golfworks / Golf Mechanics is the way to go. There we go. He's saying hello. Brody, what's up, man? Hey, any tips on pulling Callaway OptiFit adapters? I pulled a couple last week, but struggled. Had to get one so hot. What? No, Bobby. Two things you can do. Number one, you got to remove this is assuming you don't have the piece I'm going to tell you next. The very first one is you got to remove the ferrule. All right. And the ferrule, it takes about 30 to 40 seconds of heat with a butane torch, and you make sure you get a little bit on the adapter, and you got to pull that ferrule out. Okay. That's one. Then what you do is you go about 10 seconds in 3 different spots, and then you slide that OptiFit up so you can get underneath of it and go 10 seconds again in 3 different spots. Should be more than enough. Put it in the puller and pull it out, because that OptiFit now is going to get against the side of the shaft puller, and out it comes. All right, that's one way. The single most easiest way to do. Golfworks needs to absolutely pay me for all these promotions. Golfworks makes an adapter puller that I cannot believe nobody uses other than me. There's got to be more people out there. Anyway, go to Golfworks. All right, here we go again. Hold on. Let me do this. Golfworks shaft pulling. See what I get. And get all that stuff. Shaft pulling screws. There they are. Okay, it's called an OEM adapter kit, a GW0130. Let me show you here real quick. Here we go. Right from the website itself. See that? That washer with all those three different or 5 different screws right there. All right. See how it goes into that adapter right there? That's all you need. I've had my set for 20 years. All right. 20 years. And I've had the same set, same washer. In fact, my washer is silver. All right. Not that fancy black stuff. And that every one of those things will fit in every adapter you can possibly come across. And what you do is you screw it into the end, and now this is what gets on the end, and it pulls it out. And you hit it with another 10 to 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, set for 5, 10 to 15 seconds, all the way around. Off it comes. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I've never had a problem. Try that. And if you do, and Brody, if you get in there and you start having issues, send me an email. Maybe I'll do a video on pulling an adapter. In fact, I would bet real money I've got a video in there that pulling an adapter. There you go. And the thing, so Mooseman, pulling TMs, it's funny that you say that. To me, the easiest adapter to pull is a TaylorMade. That stuff gives up on heat so easily, it's redonkulous. So I'd really, man, oh man. If I guys had a school, would you guys come? We would go over all kinds of stuff. I mean, we would make it a day, maybe 3. Oh yeah, but yeah, use that little puller piece, and it should go away almost instantly. I'm here to tell you, it's good stuff. Hello, Brody. Matthew says happy birthday. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Saying hey to Robin. Agreed. Clean grips make a big difference, and yeah, it's amazing how much different they really can be, right? Even changing grips, although I don't play enough to truly warrant changing the grips in a year. But because of where I'm at, I typically change them because something new's come out and I've got to test them. And so if people ask me my opinion, I can do that. If one day I stop doing this, then that requirement will go away. All right. What kind of puller are you using? That's actually a pretty good question. Robin saying hello to Phil K. Raymond, does line angle make a huge difference with game improvement irons used by 15 to 20 handicap golfer? Definitely ready for spring. My bag is ready to go. Yeah. So Raymond, the big deal, even if you were a 15 to 20 handicapper, the whole idea here is to keep my mindset is that at a 15 to 20 handicapper, you really want the best potential to succeed. All right. Just like getting fit. Most people that are 15 to 20 handicappers go, oh, I'm not that good. Those are the ones that need it the most, right? That single digit handicapper is just looking for that latest tweak. They've got all the skill sets, all that other stuff. Those people are the people that would get the most out of a fitting. So would lie angle do good? Yeah, right? Is particularly if you have the right length, lie angle would be paramount from about the 7 on down. 5, 6, you can get away with that one. But certainly in the shorter irons for sure. Barry here. Hey, Barry, what do you say, man? There we go there. We go there. There you go. I'm 74. Went with a Ping 440 irons. Came down to them or the Mizuno hot metals. Found the Pings more forgiving for me. Went with the AWT R shaft. Hard stepped 1. Ah, cool. So a little bit more of aggressive, a little bit getting onto it. Still swinging pretty good. The Ping 440s are nice. I'm never going to say Ping doesn't make a bad iron. They just don't. I think Ping's weak spot is in their shaft programs. But they use the AWT, which is ascending weight technology, meaning that it's light up here, heavy down here. Good stuff. All right. Hello, Robin. Here we go. John says 13 isn't a good number. Hit that thumbs up and get it off there, folks. I appreciate it, buddy. Oh, hit the thumbs up, fan, says my dog Rex. Ooh, here's a new one. Garrett Clemon Sports. He's got a Carolina mid-amateur qualifier coming up March 31st. Well, Garrett, good luck, right? March 31st. And down in the Carolinas, probably be pretty good weather, I would imagine. You're right in that ragged edge where it could go from 75 to 35 all in one day, I know. But hopefully you got her figured out and you're ready to rock and roll. Good job. Hot Dog International. We'll call them Hot Dog International. Personally use the Super Jumbo. That's basically a JM. Oh, okay. Jumbo Max, strong 8 tour grip, awesome. Play C966 issues without issues. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about, right? He's basically telling you, he's confirming what I said. We got those big jumbo grips, a little bit more weight right here. You don't necessarily feel the light weight because all that weight sits in your hands. And you notice and you go, wow, okay, I've got all this weight right here. It's all good. We're ready to go. And you can swing it. Then only the super techie, when you say, oh, it's a C8, they're going to go, oh, it's so light, I can't swing it. Don't ever tell them what the swing weight is. Just let them go hit it first. And that's what I do with all those. I said, here, just hit some of these. And I did it with those guys. Some of the guys, that one dude that was hitting with that hit that 145 on the smash factor with the irons, I gave him the big grip just to see what he would do because he was a little bit heavy on the weight, but he was really liking the other stuff. So I gave him the heavy grip, smoked it. Absolutely smoked it. I gave him the light one, dumped it every time. I said, so it just goes to show you it's right there. Robin saying thank you to my dog Rex, and I say thank you too. Robin saying, hello, hot dog. Thanks, John. Teasing me with that Wilson iron. You better believe it, buddy. Anything to get you into a new set. Oh, there we go. 88 in Fort Worth. Wow. It is amazing how things turn around. We went from freezing weather, 6 inches of snow, melted in 2 days, got super cold again, then got to 70 one day, then back down into the 40s, and now we're back up into the 70s again after 3 inches of rain. I am here to tell you, Mother Nature does not want to give up on Southern Ohio. All right. Thanks for the pro tips on swing weighting. I have a set. Okay. I have a set that has a baseline of C7. That's kind of low. However, the 9 iron are C6. One swing weight. Don't get hung up on one swing weight point. Nobody feels that. Nobody. Now there'll be, and I say that, and when I say there's an absolute, there'll be one person out there in the world that says, "Oh no, I can do that." There is one person out there that can do that. That he could tell the flex being off. Okay, and he was a professional. But the average golfer, even the better average golfer, the studies would show that you have to go beyond 3 swing weight points before you feel something different. So don't go thinking you need to add a whole bunch. Okay. And generally, should wedges feel heavier? In my opinion, yes, a little bit heavier. Now, if you didn't know they were C6, would you have thought that they were lighter? Therein lies the question, right? So if you had this and it's C6, I would look at either the shaft weight or the grip is probably pulling you down into that. And if you're finding out that, yeah, I'd like it a little bit heavier, whatever you do, don't try and get to D2 or D5 or whatever. Just make D0 your optimal thing. That's 6 swing weight points, easy to get to, and I'm here to tell you, you will notice the difference. Typical spring weather here in AB. Could do steaks on the barbecue on Saturday, then a blizzard on Sunday. So waiting, no doubt, right? That's what we were looking at right here. Bob and Penny came over. Rain was sideways. You couldn't see past it all. Hour later, it was like sun was out. And we were like, what happened? For your internet, you could use a range extender or go to your provider and get a hotspot, a small device that give you internet access in a small area if that doesn't work. I will ask that. Also, we're going to take a vacation in April, I think, or the end of March, beginning of April, and we're going to go to Gulf Shores. So if any of you guys got must go to when you're in Gulf Shores, let me know. So maybe we can switch it around. We like to spend 3 months in Florida. The new regulations and paperwork made it just about impossible to do in the timelines we wanted to complete it. It was just 2 weeks. Okay. Really? Man, I hate to hear that for you, man. I hate that these people are just they can't see eye to eye. What's wrong with a guy wanting to go on vacation? Jake Bennett. Hey, that's a new one. Ooh, look, he's got a crayon icon there. And U.S. Marines. Well done, brother. Well done. Hope you're doing good. Question: when spining a driver shaft, can it frequency higher than the same shaft not spined? Yes. Yes, it can. By about anywhere between 3 and 7 CPMs. That's what I've seen in the life expectancy. Now, if it's doing 7, the shaft's kind of wonky. I'd be concerned. If it was 3, you're okay. But yes, it can. John says, looking for a partner to brush my teeth with because 9 out of 10 say that brushing alone doesn't stop tooth decay. Nicely done. John, yep. Blue Magoo says he uses that kit. I'm going to assume he's talking about the screws. Those things are, so there's 2 of us now. Those screws are just so easy to use, man. They go in there. What happens is they get enough bite because it engages into the adapter enough that you don't have to worry about pulling it out. My first fears with them was that if you don't get enough thread engagement because they are aluminum adapters, that you could just warp the living crap out of them. And that's the reason why you got to test it. You got to make sure it's not wobbly and make sure you get in there more than a couple of turns. And once you do 2 or 3 of them, you'll figure it out. We do. I sign up. Okay. John Lamb, happy born Niketi Day, Jim. Hope next year is filled with your wishes to come true. Thank you, sir. Oh, okay. Get it. New kid. Yep. John Timmons, man, we're seeing some folks get showed up right here, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. There's John. Phil K says, cleaned out my bag 2 weeks ago. I am so needing to do that to mine. I'm here telling you that, and I've not done it. I'm such a procrastinator. It sucks. But yeah, I got to get into mine. All right, what do we got? Spanky Golf Addict. What do you say, man? How you doing? How you doing? What did he get? I got a new driver, the QI4. Nice. Told it's a very, very nice club. If you look at my Golf Spy, it's a number 2 to the Callaway, but you're talking a half a yard. So if you're a Callaway fan, or if you're a TaylorMade fan, have at it, man. Great. All righty. Robin says hi to Spanky. Spanky saying hi back. Robin saying hi to Drew and to Jake. Jake at State Farm. Jake, what are you asking about? I didn't see anything from Jake. Where do I sign up? He was probably talking about I made the statement of, if I made a school, would you guys show? If I build it, will you come? Maybe we have to think about that one pretty close. Okay. Got a bit. We got here. My birthday is today. Well, Spanky, happy birthday, buddy. Well done, sir. And 4 days after mine. Well done. Got to stay in that Pisces range. All right. My channel name was made back in 2010 or 11. It was changed to Unsuitable, hence the logo. However, YouTube reverted custom usernames due to spam and bot count. Really? I'm just having about my fill of these people because of, number one, everything that's good is ruined by just a few turds, and it's unfortunate. Yep. 4 days ago. Yeah, I noticed swing weight was really light when I picked it up. It didn't feel a lot of head. Okay. Well, if that's the case, I still say if you put about a 6 to an 8 gram weight in the end of it would be more than enough. Because I could talk about how that impacts frequency and how that, and how the shaft's going to bend. and all that other stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Just put the weight on and be good. Now, another way you could tell if you really wanted to experiment without tearing it apart is get some lead tape and put it on there and take some swings and go, okay, I really like this. Make a few swings, hit a few balls, see if it works good for you. Then weigh that lead. I would bet real money that it's less than what you think. Cleaned out my bag at least 4 times a year. Guys, I golf. The guys I golf with thinks it's fun to put their cookie wrappers in it. Ah, there you go. That's why. Happy belated. Thank you, Spanky, and happy birthday to you. Can't believe you're here on your birthday watching me when you could be out celebrating. But that's cool on my part. Thanks. A schooler class would be pretty awesome. Well, we're going to have to worry about that. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, okay, guys, 15 minutes over. Not too bad. It's really nice outside, so I'm probably going to sit out back with the wife and just watch the deer run by. Again, all the folks that we haven't seen in a while, thanks for coming back. All the new people that we've seen beforehand or haven't seen beforehand, thanks for joining. Come back next Monday. And all you guys that haven't seen it before, if you do like the whiskey and the golf, join me at Pars and Pours. I'm sure I will have a video coming back out. I'm actually getting back into the groove again. That's really been my problem. I fell out of the groove for a bit. Now I'm getting back into it. So hopefully we'll have a really good topic to discuss, maybe some reviews or whatnot of some of the golf products. So before we talk on next Monday. So again, guys, thank you so very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for sharing. And as always, let's see your scores go low.